You've been super competitive all year. Was there a sense that it unravelled a bit tonight?
Oh, it unravelled when we had the ball in our hands, that's for sure. It's really, it's the worst. We've butchered opportunities going forward all year. So we've got to continue to work on that, because I'm not a big believer in things are one-off, even though that was very different to the way we've used or attempted to use the ball going forward this year. But compounding that problem, we didn't defend those mistakes either, and really good teams make a lot of mistakes. That's footy. It's a competitive game. There's an opposition out there trying to stop you. You don't go forward unimpeded all game, but good teams defend those mistakes, and we made a lot of mistakes and we didn't defend them well at all. And I think the numbers probably tell a bit of a story. You know, you can go forward, win the clearances pretty comfortably, win the inside 50s and get beaten by 9 goals. So that's it in a nutshell.
Ben Brown.
He's been taken to hospital for observation. I haven't had an update yet, but clearly I think he's felt better. What's
your take on the tackle? Is it still a grey area, or do you think this one was arms pinned and quite an easy call for the MRP?
Not my place to comment on the MRP. Clearly, I saw the incident, but we're trying to work out what we're going to do with our forward structure and ruck setup after that. So, not my place to comment.
Buck said just before that it was, in his opinion, the perfect tackle from Brodie Grundy. Would you say the same thing in terms of arms pinned?
No.
How? Sorry. What was?
Okay.
What's your feeling when that happens? It's the concern for the player, I'd imagine, or is it very much just trying to restructure the forward line?
Oh, no, it's a concern for the player. Yeah. Because we knew straight away he was in trouble. But the AFL clubs do it better than we. Travel all around the world, look at different clubs, and you just know they're in the best of care. If you're ever going to get hurt anywhere, do it at an AFL footy club or in a game, because you've got the best care there available. And there's obviously concern, but there's very little you can do other than provide the best medical care, which we did.
As an AFL industry, do we need to look at maybe how we tackle and maybe legislate against pinning the arms in the future? Do you think a discussion like that would be worthwhile at the end of the season? I think the AFL are trying to do everything they can to avoid situations like this, and it's tough on the players too, because you're trying to dispossess, you're trying to pin the ball in, you don't want the player to get rid of the ball either. So I think it's a bit of a work in progress, but I think the powers that be are on it, so they'll do what's best.
It seemed a strange moment when Grundy actually got the free kick. Haven't seen that happen before a lot in footy.
Yeah, I think if you had the third umpire on the video review and time to go back, they'd probably, I won't second guess what they would have done, but you can probably pay that free kick either way. But and that's part of our game. That is it a push in the back? Is it holding the ball? It's a tough gig for umpires, and my concern with having umpires mic'd up is they explain their decisions and then the replay shows something completely different. So it makes it very, very difficult for them in that circumstance. But yeah, it was just, look, I don't think there's anything malicious in it. I didn't think there was anything malicious in Patrick Dangerfield's tackle either. It's unfortunate that accidents happen, and we've got to try and make sure that we make the game as safe as possible, while still understanding that it's a really competitive, combative sport.
What about the Ben Cunnington incident with Tyson Goldsack?
I just thought that we always coach the guys, eyes on the ball, go for the ball, and again, we've got to understand that incidental contact does happen. When you've got two guys watching the ball.
Zeeble looked pretty sore. Ribs, obviously, or the shoulder region, and goes forward and kicks 5. Yeah,
I spoke to him at half time. He was pretty. He's very confident that he'd be right, but we needed him forward because we obviously lost Brownie, and we needed to restructure our forward line, and we're putting a lot of pressure on a second gamer and Nick Larkey to be our only key forward. So that Zeeble's a class act. We'd love to have him forward more often, but it also meant that we were very thin in the midfield, and we got badly beaten there in the second half with Collingwood's run through there.
Have you assess Todd Goldstein's first game back from the VFL?
I thought he was fantastic early. He really set the tone for us. We weren't able to capitalise on that period of dominance. We missed a lot. We had a lot of inside 50s, and a lot of that was on the back of his work. So I thought Grundy really got going as the game went on. I thought he was a good performer for Collingwood on the night, but yeah, I thought it was a good step forward for Goldie.
And the Goldstein-Pearce combination, it's been such a talking point all year.
Yeah.
How do you think, is there any more evidence as to how they work together?
Well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, both in the way they work together, but also, Goldie's a proven player. He hasn't been at his best this year, but we're confident he'll regain his best. And Pearcey's got a lot of work to do because he's a young player who hasn't played a lot, but shows a lot of promise. So there's probably the overall development as well as the synergy that needs to improve. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but we know we've got a fair bit of work to do with that synergy.
And again, a lot of kids out there tonight, which sort of caught your eye. What were the signs that you liked, I suppose?
Oh, again, it's just you see really good moments from Durden and Nielsen down back, and Josh Williams has, particularly the way he started the game, he's showing us that he's got AFL attributes, and there are a lot of guys that are getting opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise had we had our best 22 available. I think we had probably 4 guys that we could pick from in the curtain raiser today playing out there, so that makes it tough in terms of our depth, but the silver lining is we're getting guys out there experiencing high pressure games, and Nielsen playing for solo, all those things that maybe you wouldn't be able to do if you had your best out there. So that's the silver lining.
Jai Simpkin was an ankle?
Yeah. He because we trained on Thursday, he rolled his ankle on Thursday, so we only had an hour or so to name the team, and he thought he'd get up for the game, so we named him, but he just wasn't right. So we're hopeful it's only a week, but not quite sure at this stage.
Thanks.
Thanks.